Hello my children. Welcome back to another video. This video is a New Year special video. I was supposed to make the Christmas special, but Christmas was already over. So I decided to make a New Year special instead. Also, there will be a new bot voice in my video since I wanted to try something new, and also because I kinda like the voice 𝙬𝙗𝙗. Don't worry, though, I'll still use the usual male bot voice in my next video. I'll switch bot voices from time to time so that my content wouldn't really be a repetitive content. Lastly, the characters in this video are already in college, basically a college 𝐬𝐿. They're in their last years of college in this scenario. This video is also like a spin-off, I guess, from the last video which was about SakuAtsu, underneath the mistletoe. Basically time skip. It's not a series, though. I just wanted to connect that video from this video since I saw comments asking what had happened to SakuAtsu after he was being chased by Osamu. Anyway, enjoy and don't forget to smile. Iwa-chan. Hurry up. Even my grandmother can walk faster than you. If I weren't holding both of our luggages, what the hell did you even stuff in this thing? We would have been there faster. Oh, Iwa-chan. Stop being a whiny baby and walk faster. Iwaizumi huffs out a frustrated breath and continues to drag both of their luggages inside of the hotel, Oikawa skipping happily towards the hotel's entrance doors while humming something familiar under his breath. Once they entered the hotel, Iwaizumi, out of breath from bringing, more like dragging, Oikawa's overly large luggage, Oikawa suddenly screams out at Atsumu, my love, and started charging towards Atsumu and a few others. There they go again. Not surprising. Iwaizumi watches Oikawa and Atsumu dramatically running towards each other, as if they were in a cliché romance movie back in the 90s. Atsumu engulfs Oikawa in a tight hug, then lifts him in the air and chants Kawa, my love. SakuAtsu, on the sidelines, rolls his eyes at both his boyfriend and his best friend. The two almost had tears in their eyes as they hugged each other, not caring about the people in the hotel giving them curious and confused looks. Iwaizumi and SakuAtsu looked at each other and shrugged. They couldn't do anything about it. When Oikawa and Atsumu let go of each other, Oikawa looks at the others behind Atsumu and waved sheepishly. Suna had his hands around Osamu's biceps. Osamu had his arms crossed while holding something on his hand that was merely visible. SakuAtsu, being SakuAtsu, only stayed 5 feet away from Samu and Suna. SakuAtsu looked like he was scared of Osamu. Iwaizumi was curious when he saw Osamu giving him a glance as SakuAtsu flinches. Iwa, we're finally here. Obviously. Why are you so glum for? You're starting to get forehead wrinkles, as well as gray hair if you continue to do that. Iwaizumi glares at him sharply. I was bringing both of our luggages for the past hour. Mind you, we got lost for another hour because you forgot which way the hotel is. Oh, and don't forget when I suggested that we should have booked a taxi, you refused because we can find it on our own. Iwaizumi breathes in, then breathes out. Now 3 hours later, after hours of poor Hajime Iwaizumi suffering while bringing your overly large luggage, we're finally here, yay. Iwaizumi cheers sarcastically. Suna was about to fish his phone out of his pocket to film, but Osamu slaps his hand away. Atsumu had a grin on his face while Oikawa pouts. Now if you excuse me, I'm going to go collapse inside of our room. Iwaizumi then bows politely at them and gave Oikawa a quick peck in his cheek and walked away, dragging both of their luggages to the counter. He then asks for the key, then stomps to the stairs, dragging the large bags. They all watched as Iwaizumi struggles to bring their luggage up the stairs, as well as the front desk workers glancing at him with worry. Once he reached to the 2nd floor, visibly looking like he ran a marathon, and places his hands on his waist and sighs contentedly. His figure then disappears, leaving the rest laughing while Oikawa chuckles. Does he know that elevators exists for a reason? Shh, no one informed him. That's mean, Suna. You made me do the same thing and not telling me that the elevators were working just fine when we were on a vacation with mum and dad, Boke. You ate the last onigiri. You must suffer the consequences. Atsumu and Osamu started arguing, Suna watching them as if he's watching a live comedy show, snickering. Oikawa sighs and looks at SakuAtsu. They wouldn't notice that I'll disappear, huh? It'll take them 10 minutes for them to finally finish arguing. True. Oikawa sighs once more and looks at the stairs Iwaizumi walked up a few minutes ago. Hey? Oikawa looks at SakuAtsu. His hands stuffed inside of his pockets. He really loves you. He even gave you a kiss on your cheek, and still dragged your luggage with him to your room. Even though you annoyed him for 3 hours straight, he'll still do anything for you. Oikawa sighs once more. Now go. Go get him. He's either probably dead asleep or he's waiting for you until you open your room so that he can sleep soundly knowing you're safe. I believe in the latter, though. Oikawa smirks at him. You sound so responsible and more mature for a moment, Saku-chan. I'm dating your childish best friend. I'm surprised I haven't grown gray hair by now. Plus, we're all in our last years of college. They both laughed. Now go apologize and shower him with affection. He wouldn't be grumpy soon when we go out for lunch. Oikawa nods and smirks at him. He smiles when he saw Sakusa's love-struck gaze at Atsumu still bickering with his twin. He patted his shoulder. He then left to go to their room and went inside the elevator. Moments later, he reached the front of their room door, room 203. He gives it a quick knock then slowly twists the doorknob to find it unlocked. He went inside to find Iwaizumi lying on his back while scrolling through his phone as the hotel television played Godzilla. Oikawa chuckles. Hi baby. Iwaizumi gave him a side glance and rolled over his stomach, grunting. Oh baby, don't be like that. Iwaizumi grunts again, ignoring him. Oikawa closes the door behind him and removes his shoes. After that, he jumps on Iwaizumi's back, making Iwaizumi grunt once more at the sudden impact. Baby, I'm sorry. Iwaizumi finally looks at him and narrowed his eyes. 3 hours, Toru. 3 hours. I'm sorry. I'm annoyed at you. Would you still be if I do this? Oikawa gives Iwaizumi a quick kiss on his left cheek. I'm still annoyed. He kisses his other cheek. Still. Oikawa then proceeds to shower him with kisses, his cheeks, his forehead, everywhere except his lips. Iwaizumi had a small smile on his face as his eyes were closed shut. Oikawa chuckles when Iwaizumi pouts when Oikawa moves away. Am I forgiven yet? Nope. Oikawa frowns. What why? ... You missed a spot. Iwaizumi points at his lips. Oikawa crosses his arms and pouts. He sat crossed-legged on the other side of the bed while Iwaizumi still laid on his stomach while pouting at his puckered lip. I haven't brushed my teeth since 5 hours ago. Look at me. Oikawa looks at his dead serious eyes who were staring intently at him. Do I look like I care? But I do. Come here or else. Or else what? Iwaizumi jumps at Oikawa, tackling him to the bed, and started tickling him mercilessly. Wait. Stop. It tickles. Iwa-chan. Iwaizumi laughs at Oikawa's flustered face. He then smirks down at him. Kiss or suffer. Kiss. Iwaizumi stops tickling him and lays down beside him, his head turned to the side and expectantly waits for his kiss. Oikawa rolls his eyes and gave him a quick peck on his lips then moved away. Iwaizumi pouts once more. What now? I already gave you a kiss. Cuddle. Me. Cuddle me. Why are you suddenly so clingy? Because I'm tired of carrying all our luggage, especially yours, and not once did you help me carry your luggage. So, I need to recharge. Your hugs make me happy. Oikawa wanted to squeal at how cute Iwaizumi was acting. He knew something was up since he was being too romantic and clingy, but he chose not to further ask him but thanked whoever was up there for giving him soft Iwaizumi. He then hops on the bed with Iwaizumi then lets him hug him behind his back, cuddling him. The rest of their mornings were spent with watching Godzilla, much to Oikawa's protest to watch some Korean dramas instead, cuddling, and playful banters. They, then, fell asleep in each other's embrace until it was time for lunch. 2 hours later, after Atsumu banging on their room to wake them up for lunch, they were already inside the city's large mall, eating lunch inside their signature cafe. The place smells like coffee. People in the area were either chattering among themselves or booming with laughter. The place itself had books surrounding the place, the ceilings had a decorative aesthetic with books hanging from the ceiling, as well artworks hanged on the walls. It's called a book cafe for a reason, huh? All in all, the place looked like the kind of place where you can study in peace, regardless of the background noises. A sense of comfort. A few more hours before the year ends. They all planned to meet here in the city to celebrate together. They invited a few others, but they couldn't join them in celebration. They planned on staying there for at least 3 days. This is their first day here. They planned for 2, but Iwaizumi wanted to prolong their stay. They didn't know why, but he did. Now, they were all seated in a circular table. Atsumu sat between his Omi and Oikawa. Oikawa was still sleepy, so Atsumu nudges him with his elbow. Don't fall asleep, Kawa. We still need to explore their most popular mall and see what all the fuss is about, and how spectacular this mall is according to the ratings. Oikawa gave him a tired smile, his eyes closed shut. Atsumu then pinches his arm. Oikawa jolts awake, his eyes widened as he rubs his arm, whining. Ouch, that hurts. You were about to fall face flat on your plate. Now, are you going to eat your ham or not? I'm still hungry. Take it, stupid. Atsumu sticks his tongue out at him, then grabs his ham from his plate and placing it on his own, a happy smile on his face. Iwaizumi glances at Oikawa and pokes his side with the back of the fork. Why are you tired? Maybe I'm just bored. Iwaizumi rolls his eyes. Of course, you are. Don't worry, I think everyone except Atsumu are finished with their food. Oikawa then smiles excitedly at him. Iwaizumi intertwines their fingers under the table and gives it 3 squeezes. I love you. Oikawa smiles at him, then gave him 4 squeezes in return. I love you too. Once they were all ready to go, Atsumu and Osamu bickering once more as well as Sakusa sighing under his max, they walked together as a group to a specific place they all wanted to go in the mall. But before that, they spent the rest of the afternoon playing arcades and watching a movie in the mall. Atsumu and Osamu fought after that, and they ended up chasing one another to the result of the twins going missing for an hour. When they finally found the twins, they were actually found in a eating contest. Suna and Sakusa got mad at them for worrying them. Oikawa, however, cheered for Atsumu, making Iwaizumi rolling his eyes for the millionth time that time. They then ate dinner after that. Regardless of how full the twins were, they still wanted to eat. They then let the food in their stomach digest before going to their desired destination. Once they reached their destination, Oikawa and Atsumu started cheering and ran towards the entrance, their arms wrapped around one another as they almost stumbled while dragging themselves to the entrance. Iwaizumi chuckles at them. Children, please, calm your horses. We don't want to spend the new year in the hospital now, do we? Oikawa and Atsumu stop, rolling their eyes. Their excited grins never left their faces, though. Yes, father. We know. Don't ever call me father ever again. Pappy. Papa Suna supremacy. Oikawa, Atsumu. You too little. Suna then started chasing Oikawa and Atsumu around the place, passers-by glancing at them in confusion, as well as giving them annoyed looks when one of them almost bumped into a random person. Iwaizumi chuckles. Are we the only ones who are mature enough? Maybe. Oh well, we love them anyway. True. Iwaizumi removes his gaze from the trio and looks at Osamu who was glaring at Sakusa. I still remember back where we're in high school and you made my twin brother cry. Wait, but that was a misunderstanding, Osamu. Osamu fished out a silver spoon out of his pocket. Make him cry once more, and what had happened before back in the golden days of high school will happen again, but worse. Got it? Capiche? Sakusa gulps, then nods. Osamu smiles brightly. He looks at Iwaizumi who had a confused look on his face. What happened years ago? ... Please do the honors, Sakusa. Sakusa nervously chuckles, then clears his throat. Oh, and make it very detailed. So it was back in December 23. He was overthinking about stuff and our relationships and I gave him a long speech to reassure him and he started crying. We then, kissed under the mistletoe while he... Please don't inform us about your tongue hockey with my brother in detail, please. Iwaizumi snorts, covering his mouth and trying not to laugh when Osamu gave Sakusa a grimace, Sakusa blushing red. Oh, you are, sorry. So he then caught us both and he saw Tsumu crying while his cheeks were puffy and red. So he took the wrong idea and started chasing me with his silver spoon. Jennifer. Jennifer. Yeah, Jennifer is her name. Oh. So he then chased me around the house with it, cursing at me with every Harry Potter spell known and kept throwing the spoon, Jennifer, at me. He then caught up to me and straddled me while placing the spoon on my neck and asking why I made his twin cry. So, in the end, we told him the truth but he's still mad at me for that. You still made him cry. I'm sorry, I didn't hurt him. Feel the wrath of my silver spoon. Ha 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 ha. Osamu was about to retort until Suna whistles at them. Come on. Let's start acting like we're Yuri on Ice. Happy Suna. On ice. The three started walking towards the mall's large ice skating rink, Sakusa making sure he's at a safe distance from Osamu, almost making Iwaizumi bursting out of laughter once more. So, let's just say that they were the most chaotic group of people when it comes to ice skating. Atsumu and Oikawa were constantly screaming with each other, laughing and being the most chaotic duo. They kept falling on their butts. Suna, filming at them, was enjoying their pain, Osamu laughing with him. Sakusa just stayed right where he was, not moving, even an inch. He stayed right where he was and avoiding people as usual. It was funny to them when a young girl saw him and fell in love with his looks. He tries to avoid her by skating away, but the girl kept calling him her Prince Charming. He asked help from his very own boyfriend, but he just watches his Omi was being followed by the kid. Iwaizumi tried helping both Oikawa and Atsumu in their feet, but failed. He sighed for who knows how many times at that time. Moments later, after Iwaizumi apologized to three people that Oikawa has bumped into, Suna and Osamu were alone in their little bubble, leaving Atsumu, Iwaizumi and Oikawa left. So, are you two exhausted yet? Oikawa looks up at him from the ice and grins. Never. What he said. Atsumu tried to pick Oikawa up but ended up falling on the ground beside him, slipping then screeching. Oikawa laughed along with Iwaizumi when Atsumu whined. Yeah, rude. Mwah. Let's get you up on your feet. Come on. He grabs Atsumu's hands and helps him up, letting him hold the side of the rinks to balance himself. He then looks down at his boyfriend and smirks. Give me your hand, Trashikoa. Iwaizumi sticks his hand out for his boyfriend to hold on to. Oikawa reaches for his hand, intertwining it with his own. Iwaizumi pulls him up with force and ended up making Iwaizumi falling on his back, Oikawa on top of him with both of his hands clutching his coat on his chest. Oikawa and Iwaizumi's heart raced in unison. Their chests were pressed together. Iwaizumi could feel how fast his heart was beating, the same pace as his. They stared at each other, not once did their gaze break. Oikawa's cheeks were red with embarrassment while Iwaizumi flushed at the proximity. Atsumu clears his throat. Yikes, what is this, a Wattpad love story? Stop making me feel like a third wheel. Ugh, you know what? I'm leaving you two to find my Omi. He's probably running, more like skating, away from the child, so, toodles. Gotta save my man before he collapses. Atsumu then slowly started skating away from them, holding the sides of the wall to help him keep his balance. Slowly, but surely. Oikawa then chuckles with embarrassment, then moves away from Iwaizumi and helping himself to stand up. Iwaizumi helps himself and holds the rink's handles. Their faces were both flushed as other people glance at them. Iwaizumi clears his throat while looking at the ground. So do you want to drink something, water? Do you want water? Sure. Iwaizumi nods then excused himself, skating with ease towards the rink's exit gates to buy him a bottle of water. Oikawa wanted to fanboy and scream. Chill. Why are you acting as if you guys weren't dating since high school? Shut up, Suna. I still have screenshots of you fanboying over my twin. Suna being Samu's #1 fan. Suna slaps at the back of his head, his face a bit red. He glares at a laughing Atsumu. You do? Suna glares at him, his face redder than before. Shut up. They all laugh at him, Sakusa chuckles. Oikawa looks around to find Iwaizumi, his face brighter than usual. He's just so in love with his childhood best friend. Oikawa excuses himself to go find Iwaizumi, holding the side of the rink for support and balance, trying not to slip and fall. He saw Iwaizumi's back and was about to call out to him until he saw a girl who was speaking to him, laughing at what Iwaizumi had said. Oikawa was confused. Who is she? He skates a little bit closer, but not close enough to hear their conversation, but far enough to be hidden from their view. He saw the girl playfully punching his shoulder and giggling, a blush on her face as Iwaizumi grins down at her. He then said something that made her blush furiously, resulting in more playful punches sent his way. Oikawa's heart broke a little. Iwaizumi hadn't introduced him to her, nor does he know that he has a friend here in the unfamiliar city. He was overthinking to the point where tears started forming in his eyes. Why was he feeling that way? Why is he overthinking so much? Why the hell did he feel like crying in front of a large mass of people, especially in the rink? Maybe because they promised that they wouldn't keep secrets to each other. Or maybe it's because the reason why Iwaizumi was staying up late was that he was texting her? Why didn't he tell him about her? He felt betrayed. Iwaizumi broke his promise. But then again, he feels like he's being too dramatic. Oikawa closes his eyes and counted to 3, trying to keep his tears at bay. He then breathes out a sigh and opened his eyes. Iwaizumi and the girl are gone. You know what? Screw you, Hajime. Oikawa then skates towards the group, trying not to slip and fall. He failed, though. He was about to fall on the ice until he felt a pair of hands on his arms, holding him firmly. Whoa, Toru. You almost fell, for me? Oikawa looks at Iwaizumi giving him a flirtatious wink. Oikawa didn't even respond and ignored him, swinging his arms away to make Iwaizumi losing his grip. He holds the rink and skates back to the others. Iwaizumi frowns and skates beside him. Hey, I was joking, why are you upset? Oikawa then calls out to Atsumu, cutting Iwaizumi off. Tsumu. Let's go back to the hotel. The fireworks will start soon. It's like 8 p.m. already and the drive back to the hotel takes 30 minutes, and the fireworks start at 9 in the evening. Iwaizumi frowns at him as he wonders what was wrong with his boyfriend. Are you alright? Iwaizumi was cut off by Sakusa, who stumbled on him, a young girl behind him. Children are scarier than pink machetes. The young girl was about to speak up until she was dragged with her mother, scolding her for not staying close to her mother. They then skates away. I thought I was going to die. The look in your face when she chased you around the rink yelling out, "Hey, my Prince Charming," was hilarious. I got the whole thing in my phone. Children versus Sakusa. Not Sakusa being scared of a little girl. I feel bullied. Atsumu gives his boyfriend a peck on his cheek. Love you, Omi. Sakusa grunts, but smiles inside of his mask. Oikawa looks away, avoiding Iwaizumi's worried gaze towards him. Atsumu notices something was wrong and immediately cleared his throat. Alright, let's go back. I'm exhausted. Plus, I can't wait to see the fireworks. Everyone nodded and slowly skates towards the rink's exit, Oikawa staying a bit farther away from Iwaizumi. He doesn't know why he's distancing himself when all he ever wants is to be next to him. It was probably just him being dramatic. After they exited the rink, they then walked outside towards the mall's exit to book a taxi. Since the taxi could only accept 4 passengers, Iwaizumi and Oikawa had to go in a separate taxi going back to the hotel. Atsumu gave his best friend a reassuring squeeze on his shoulder before they left. The ride back to the hotel was silent. Only the driver's humming as well as the radio's daily news update. Iwaizumi wanted to talk to Oikawa, but Oikawa just stared out of the window, tracing circles on the foggy glass window. When they reached the hotel, Iwaizumi immediately opens his door to open Oikawa's side. Oikawa paid him 0 attention and walks inside of the hotel. Iwaizumi sighs, then pays the taxi driver. Trouble in paradise? Yeah. Listen, kid. Communication is always the key. Iwaizumi nods at him. Okay, thanks. The driver tips his hat then closes his door. He then drove off. Oikawa sighs in the cold breeze, shivering slightly. He grips the cold railings, then places his elbows on it, his arms crossed. He was already on the rooftop at that time. He tried calling for the others, but their phones were unattended. He was alone, but the romantic music from afar kept him company. He was about to head inside until he heard someone walking towards him. It was probably Iwaizumi. Knowing him for years, he knows it's him. Hey, you're here early. Oikawa stayed silent and gazed out in the distance, the city's lights and busy streets illuminated from below. The fireworks would start at 10 minutes, but there were no signs of the others. It was him and Iwaizumi. Alone. Oikawa, talk to me. What's wrong, baby? Oikawa gave him a quick glance at him, then looks back up the starry night sky. Who is she? Who? The girl from earlier, who was she? And how did you know her? Iwaizumi tilts his head to the side, confusion written all over his face. Oikawa sighs. The girl you were talking to back in the rink. You were supposed to get me water but you came back with nothing. Remember now? It all clicks. Oh, her. Holy crap. Don't tell me you were jealous. Oikawa glares at him. I wasn't. Or is my baby jealous? I'm no. Iwa-chan. Or my baby really is jealous. You're so cute, I wanna hug your annoyingly cute self. Iwaizumi gives Oikawa a smirk and pinches his cheek. Oikawa slaps his hand away and glares at him sharply. I'm not, Hajime. Whatever you say, baby. There was a moment of silence until Iwaizumi spoke up. Just so you know, she's my younger cousin. She looks different since she's already grown up since the last time you met her. Oikawa's eyes widened. His mouth agape in shock. Oh my god, what? She's changed. Yep, she even got herself a boyfriend already. Oh, damn. So he was jealous over nothing. Embarrassing. Iwaizumi laughs at him, as if he read his thoughts. You're cute when you're jealous. You damn idiot. Oikawa playfully punches him repeatedly. Iwaizumi laughing at his embarrassed blush. I thought you were hiding something from me, so I got upset. Iwaizumi coughs and looks away. Well, I'm actually hiding something from you, for a week. Oikawa glances at him, his face stoic. It's nothing bad. It's just a little something that I hope you will accept. What is it then? You gotta wait until the fireworks start. Oikawa scoffs at him. You know I'm impatient. Deal with it, Trashikawa. Oikawa playfully punches his shoulder, then rests his head on his neck. Iwaizumi wraps his arms around his waist, kissing the side of his head. They snuggled close together as they waited for the fireworks to explode in the air. Oikawa felt happier. As long as he's with Iwaizumi, his arms around him as they snuggle together, that's all he needed to feel like the happiest man to ever live on earth. As long as he's with him, it's like all of his worries suddenly vanishes, only to be replaced by the feeling of love and nothing but love and happiness. This is true love. Then, the fireworks erupted. The deafening sound of the fireworks exploding in the beautiful night sky, the colors bursting into a beautiful combination that fits perfectly together, as well as being in his boyfriend's loving embrace, everything was perfect. The perfect night. Oikawa Toru. Oikawa looks at him, looking at him with love and adoration in his eyes. Why yes. Iwaizumi kneels on one knee, fishing a small box in his pocket. He then opens the box to find a silver ring. What? Iwa. Chill, I'm not proposing. Yet. This is a promise ring, Toru. We still have a few more years until we can get married and be financially stable. A few more years until I can officially get one knee and call you Mr. Iwaizumi. Unless if you say no. I won't. I won't say no. Iwaizumi smiles up at him. I just want to let you know that I'm seriously in love with you. I love the way the corner of your eyes wrinkles when you laugh, the way your hair feels so soft when I run my hands through it, how supportive you are with anything that I do. I love you so much. With this, I want you to know how much I love you, how much I'm willing to do anything for you. I'll always wait for you. I'm serious about you and I hope you know that. I love you more than anything else, Toru. One day, you'll be mine. Oikawa, almost in tears, chuckles. Mine, only. Iwa-chan, I'm already yours. Legally. With all of the expensive and unnecessary papers and other stuff. They laugh. Now give me your damn hand, my knee hurts. No, I'm kinda enjoying this right now. Give me a second. Iwaizumi pokes his stomach with force. Oikawa grunts while Iwaizumi took his hand and slips the ring on his finger. Boke. Iwaizumi stands up straight, then stares at Oikawa's brown eyes, his eyes soft. I love you, Toru. I love you too, Hajime. Pinky promise? He holds out his pinky in front of him. Oikawa smiles, then links his pinky finger with his. Pinky promise. Iwaizumi grins, then pulls Oikawa close to him. He glances at his lips, then back to his eyes for consent. Can I? Do you really need to ask? Oikawa collides their lips together, their arms around each other as the fireworks continue to make their ears deaf. Sparks ignite as they held each other tight, afraid that they might never have a chance like this again. But soulmates never drifts away, they find each other again and again. Their hearts were beating faster and in sync, just like fireworks. On the other side of the building, Atsumu, Suna, Sakusa, and Osamu were hiding behind a bush while looking at the two lovebirds. Suna was filming while Atsumu and Sakusa shared popcorn while watching. Omi, let's do that too. No tongue hockey when I'm around. Bahaha caught that on camera. The three of them started arguing. SakuAtsu stayed quiet while moving further away from Osamu, who was about to fish out Jennifer out of his pocket. End.